everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to show you how I made this little Game Boy inspired squishy from memory foam. So to start off with, I just took an old piece of memory foam that I have, that's why it's a little bit yellow and kind of discoloured, and what I did was just kind of like shaped it into a rectangle shape. I then smoothed out all the corners and all the edges of this so that it was a nice smoothed out shape. And the way I like to think about this is kind of like a tic-tac box. Like, I don't know why, it just reminded me of a tic-tac box when I made this, but I just smoothed out all the edges to make it nice and round, and it turned out to be kind of like the same size as the tic-tac box, so yeah, that's probably why I thought of that. But anyway, yeah, so I just like shaped it out and made it nice and smooth, and with some smooth edges all the way around also. Once I had my shape fully smoothed out and I was completely happy with it, I then went ahead and just tested it out for slow rising this, and this piece of memory foam is really slow rising and it worked really well, as you can see here. So what I then did was took some white puffy paint and I just covered the shape completely in this. Now instead of like smudging it into the sponge, I just used my fingers to spread it around on top to make a nice thin layer. What I then did was just left this to dry, and I actually did 2 coats of this in total, 1 off camera. So what I then did was moved on to my third coat of paint, and that paint I used was Tulip Slick Paint in the colour Lilac. I did actually drop my squishy halfway through, so I had to kind of like neaten it up again, which was a little pain, but you know, these things happen and I caught it on camera, so yeah, like it doesn't matter, just carry on going. So what I did was completely covered all the sides, like all 4 sides, and then I set that to dry. Once these 4 sides were dry, I then went ahead and painted the top and the bottom so that I could lay it on its side to dry. What I then did was did 2 coats of this in total again. One of them I did off camera, so it's basically just the next coat after this. I did the same thing, covered the whole thing in purple paint, so I was left with a nice opaque colour. So in total I had 4 layers of paint, 2 of the white and 2 of the purple. So what I then did was, once I was completely happy, I then moved on with some white puffy paint and my dotting tool, and I just kind of drew out a rough kind of rectangle shape to act as the Game Boy screen. I just coloured this in with my dotting tool, kind of swirl around to make a nice even coverage. Now you can paint this on at this point, as the paint has already kind of made a good enough layer to paint on, but I wanted to use the dotting tool as I find I get neater results, and I'm not very good with a paintbrush, to be honest. So what I then did was made some little details down the bottom. I used some mint for the little game buttons. I used some gold and my dotting tool to make the little keypad bit, you know, that little cross on the Game Boy. And I then also made the gold also. Now if you're just making a generic Game Boy console, just not Game Boy obviously, you can do whatever type patterns and stuff that you want, but I just kind of copied the Game Boy colour. What I then did was added a little kawaii face to the screen, and I just used black with my dotting tool to make the eyes. Using a little pin, I then drew a mouth in between these eyes, and I also added some highlight to the eyes with a pin also. I added blush either side of the eyes as usual with my dotting tool. And apologies here for the lighting, like honestly the sun's just getting too much. I mean, I love it, but for videos it's a pain, so I might have to figure out a new setup to film these type videos. So once the paint was dry on its face and all the details, my squishy was then ready to be squished. So I'm super happy with how this turned out. It turned out nice and slow rising. It's really soft, and that's definitely helped by the many layers of paint that I did. Honestly, I did 4 and it took so long to dry, but it was so worth it. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this little guy turned out. I just love it so much. I actually based this on the duct tape one that I did not so long ago. I might actually make some charms like this to kind of go on my backpack. A little pink one and maybe a little blue one to kind of go with my pink and blue backpack, as I just think this little shape is so cute. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!